This program is brought to you by the City of Fountains Coaches Association.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Coach Glasgow. We at Cascade Sports. We have some great student athletes on today to discuss their recruiting and their decisions to attend HBCUs, not only for their academic, but also their athletic careers after high school. We have Mr. Nelson from Cascade Sports on here as well, and 3 student athletes from Lincoln. We're going to give them a chance to introduce themselves and talk about their recruiting process as we go along through this call. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it, and we'll start with Mario. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what your decision was and where you're headed.
Okay, my name is Mario Woods. I graduated from Lincoln Prep High School. I'm going there as a running back to attend Lincoln University in Jefferson City, Missouri. So.
All right, appreciate you, Mario. Jaelyn?
All right, my name is Jaelyn Bedell. I also graduated from Lincoln Prep, and I will be going to Virginia Union University to play volleyball and run track.
Go ahead, Rico.
My name is Edrico Gilliam. I graduated from Lincoln College Prep. I'm going to play football as a wide receiver at Lincoln University.
Okay, guys, you guys are all going on to play sports. And first and foremost, I want to congratulate you guys on a tremendous high school career. Although I was only around you for a short period of time, I commend you guys for your hard work and your effort to get to the next level. As you guys know, the real work starts now for you guys. We want to talk about HBCUs and why you guys chose to go that route, and talk about your recruiting process a little bit, so that people out here and your fellow classmates or people that are in lower level grades than you can kind of understand what that process was like for you and why you chose to go that route. So we're going to start with Jaelyn. Tell us about your recruiting process up to this point and how you got to the decision to go to Virginia Union to run track and play volleyball.
All right, so my recruiting process, due to a lack of better word, all in all, it was stupid. Like, if I'm being completely honest with you, my recruiting process was very, very difficult. It was extremely difficult. I didn't really have any HBCUs reach out to me. I had to reach out to them. I was on the platform field level from my volleyball coach, and that's really where I got most of my interest from, and started talking to a lot of coaches. And while on that platform, it has every single school available to it, if that makes sense. So I could pick and choose target schools that I wanted to go to, but a lot of those schools were HBCUs for me personally, but those coaches were not on that platform. So that made everything a lot harder with my recruiting process, just because that was the platform I was using and was getting the most attention from, and talking to the most coaches from. But because I was very set on going to an HBCU, I ended up reaching out to, honestly, I don't really know. I would say up to 50 schools, just trying to hear something back, emailing coaches, calling coaches, going to their Instagram and other social media websites just to follow and get in touch with those coaches. So eventually I emailed this coach from Virginia Union and immediately heard back from her. I emailed the volleyball coach first, had planned everything to go see the school and couldn't go because of Corona. So with this whole recruiting process with this specific school, it was me reaching out first and talking to that coach and just really getting to develop a relationship with her. And I felt like I made the best decision for me just because of the location as well as it being a smaller school. So yeah, my recruiting process was very difficult. It was long, it was hard, and I wanted to go to an HBCU, so I made sure that I took the initiative within myself to make sure that I could achieve my goals and my dreams of going to an HBCU. So.
Great. Let's start with you, Rico. What was your process, and how'd you get to the decision to go to Lincoln to play football?
All right, so I want to start with, I didn't know nothing about HBCUs till this year, or before I started playing football this season. But I mean, when I was like a sophomore, going into my junior year, my recruiting process, I thought it was gonna be real easy. I mean, I was talking to a lot of coaches was hitting me up and everything, but as you know, I got injured and it completely stopped. Like coaches will stop texting me, anything, calling me. They lost all hope in me, except the coaches. Like except the coaches that were black. Period. Like for real, it was a coach from Missouri S&T. He was still the black coaches was still hitting me up, but everybody else lost hope in me. Well, then I lost every offer I had before. I had lost. Like they just cut me off. But I didn't hear about Lincoln until like the days count down till the National Signing Day. I was going to go to Missouri S&T, but when I went on campus at LU. It's just different. Like you could tell it was like a family already. Soon the coaches, the HBCU, they love you. Like you part of their family as soon as you come. That's what was the big like icing on the cake. They make you their family as quick as they can. So I mean, at first the recruiting process was easy, but as soon as as they feel like you can't do nothing for them no more, it just get real hard. So I mean, at the end, it was real hard because nobody was hitting me up or nothing. But I mean, I'm at HBCU now, so it's cool with me.
Okay, how about you, Mario?
My story is similar to both Rico and Jaelyn's. My recruitment process, it was long, difficult to say the least about it. I only had 3 HBCUs in my recruitment process. What ultimately made me choose Lincoln was, one, my dad's a Lincoln alumni, so I already knew about the school way before I even touched down on campus and stuff. And when I did go to campus, it was like nice, just like what Rico said. It's really a family environment, and for me that was important because I really wanted to be surrounded by Black culture, growing up in a pro-Black family. So it was just all of those reasons was just really making me want to attend Lincoln University. So that was it for me.
So most of the things that we hear for HBCU is about the family atmosphere. Um, I want each of you to kind of talk about your own families. Mario, you kind of touched on yours a little bit. Jaelyn, I believe both of your parents went to HBCUs, if I'm not mistaken. How much of an impact does your own family make or help you with that decision, that you guys made? Because I know you guys are all close to your families. I've met all your families, of course, so I know how tight of a bond that was. Rico, we'll start with you. How important was that, and how did that go with your family to help you decide to get to an HBCU?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a first generation of college student. Nobody I'm around went to college, so they was just happy I went to college. Period. But for real, they really chose Lincoln before I even did, because like the coaches would text them and call them and talk to them more than they would even talk to me. For real. They wanted to build a family with them first so they could feel comfortable with me going. But my family, I love my family. I'm pro-Black. I really don't have, So they wanted me to go up there. They just felt like it was a good environment for me and that the coaches would help me stay focused, basically. So, yeah, they helped me with my decision a lot. For real.
How about you, Jaelyn?
Okay, so as you said, both of my parents went to an HBCU. They both went to Fisk. So all of their close friends, those are my aunt and uncles, they met at Fisk. So it's kind of like, it's just in my blood. It's just in my bones. Like I knew just because of their friends being my family, I knew that once I went to my HBCU, I wanted to have that same experience where I could be friends with somebody for the rest of my life and, call them family. So also with them both going to HBCUs, I went to a lot of homecomings, went on different tours of HBCUs, and I fell in love. I was like, I know this is where I want to be because I'm going to go somewhere and be the majority and not the minority for once. Like, this is crazy. This is insane. I totally want to do that. I knew I wanted to go to an HBCU before I even started thinking about colleges, but it wasn't even like my parents were like, you have to go to an HBCU or something like that, because they both knew I mean, if it came down to it, and with sports and academics, if I wanted to go to a PWI or go somewhere else, they would have totally supported me. So yeah, I'm very close with my family members, and I'm glad that they gave me the experiences that they gave me and let me go see those HBCUs so I can make the right decision and go somewhere where I think I was going to be supported and, in that family atmosphere. So, yeah.
How about you, Mario? You want to elaborate a little more on how your family, I mean, your dad, you say your dad was a Lincoln alum. Did he play sports or anything at Lincoln, or did he just attend there for college? And what was his process with you and conversations that you guys had in order for your final decision to be made?
No, my dad did not play sports in college. He was just a regular student. Like I said, I came from a very pro-black family. My sister, actually, she was really my biggest influence when it came to choosing an HBCU, because she went to a PWI, and, honestly, she hated the experience. She always got it in my head to go to an HBCU, and I just really took the initiative on my own to start learning about the schools and realizing how much of a connection HBCUs are to Black history. And that just really just made me want to go even more. As far as my dad goes, he also was in my ear about it, talking about how much all the fun he had down there and all that. So that was really my two biggest reasons on going.
Great. So as we all know, I mean, you guys are, your generation is really into the social media, and you guys, are seeing what's going on in the world right now with the George Floyd situation. As your generation sees these types of things happening, I know for my sake, I always lean on, I have a son that's a 2020 graduate like you guys, and it's been a roller coaster for you guys with COVID. Everything kind of just flipped upside down for you guys over the last 3 or 4 months, where everything that we were used to just flew out the window, and we had to do everything differently. So with the things that are going on with the George Floyd situation and all the, the protesting and things like that, how do you guys feel like that connection to the HBCU will really help you grow to where you can make change for your generation, and then people coming after you, whether you have younger brothers or siblings and things like that? How important is that HBCU network going to be for you guys to learn more about your history and culture? Because we know Lincoln is predominantly African-American high school, so you guys have already been subject to that. What do you think the next year or so is going to provide for you at the schools that you're going to make some change in what we see is going on in the world? Jaelyn, we'll start with you.
So I feel like with me going to an HBCU, as I already said, I'm going to have that whole family connection and that feeling of family while I go to school. But I also know that those people who decided to go to HBCUs are probably going to be in the same mindset and boat as me. So we're all going to be on that same mind. We're there to get our education. We're there to feel like we're we're majority and not the minority as we normally feel every day in life. So I feel like with me going to an HBCU, I know for a fact that I'm going to have people who agree with me on these certain circumstances and these situations that are going on in my country. I know that I'm going to have the support not only from those students, but from the teachers and the staff, and honestly, everybody in that whole community, just because I'm going to this HBCU. I hope that with me going there, I hope that there are people who choose to use their social media to use their voices in the same way that I have chosen to use mine. Excuse me. I know for a fact that I'm going to go to this HBCU and find people who are the same and on that same mind. I just hope that they voice their concerns and their feelings on these situations in the same way as me, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
This program is brought to you by Dielectric LLC, Energy in Motion.
On those platforms, so I agree with you 100%. Rico, what do you think about that? What do you think that next year will provide for you as far as maybe something that you haven't learned or really touched and got into as much as you like, or avenues that you'd like to go into now in that regard?
Well, I would hope first. I would hope I would learn some more black history, because I really haven't even learned anything about the Black history that much as in a school. Like my dad have taught me some, but like I want to actually learn what goes on. And second, I'm just glad I'm giving my talents to HBCU and not a PWI for real. I think a lot more of the Black community, if we all had went to HBCUs and took our talents there, it'll change everything. We can network with ourselves and turn it into we can change the college what's it called, at least like we could change it, start something new.
I definitely agree. I see a lot of kids now, I mean, in social media that are choosing HBCUs. You know, in the history, you know, of that, it's not been as prevalent and out in the open as it is lately. A lot of high majors and all of that stuff, people are starting to choose that route. And I think it's definitely, I agree with you 100%. It's about to change the landscape of how people are being recruited. It will bring a lot of revenue to those HBCUs when they get the top athletes there. That brings revenue to the school. So then the facilities and everything, and, you know, the things, the recruiting budgets and the things like that will definitely change in our favor, and we can keep building on that. So Mario, talk a little bit about what you want to, you know, the landscape for you and what you want to learn, and how that experience, you know, hopefully in the next year can change things for you.
Just like what everybody's saying, you know, I really look forward to learning more about art history in school, actually, like what Rico was talking about. And, you know, just with everything going on with this George Floyd situation, I know it's really a heartbreaking time for us, but at the same time, I see many of us really starting to like uprise and support each other, which I like really enjoy. So in the next year or so, I really look forward to seeing just more of us like supporting, you know, like you said, bringing revenue in, just everything, just being able to use our voice to make a change. Because I do believe that we are the change. We're going to be the difference in the world. You know, like I already know some kids on campus that want to major in law, business, stuff like that, stuff that's actually going to like, you know what I'm saying, get us out there and change things. So, you know, I'm excited for it.
Definitely, and that kind of gives me my leeway into my next conversation here for you guys. What are you guys planning on majoring in, and you know, how do you feel like once you accomplish that degree level, you can use that degree to give back to your community, and what your intentions are as far as that is concerned. Rico, we'll start with you on this one.
Well, at first, when I was going to major in computer science, but I changed it. I like math a lot, so I'm a major in accounting, and I just want like to let people know, like, you don't have to go to college and like just be an athlete. I want to go and major in accounting. I actually want a job for accounting. Like that's not even my plan B. Like, regardless if I make it or anything, I want to be an accountant just because I just love math. I just want people to know it's just not about being an athlete. People in the hood, they just like, you got to be an athlete to make it out. You have to be a rapper to make it out. You could be anything you want to be, for real. Actually, I want to be an accountant. Like,
That's good stuff. I might need one of those one day, so I'm gonna be leaning on you in the next 4 years. When, you know what I mean, hopefully my bag is way up. I'm gonna need you to help me out on that. Jaelyn, how about you?
Okay, so I'm not 100% sure if I want to major in psychology or criminology yet. I know I want to go to law school, just because when you go to law school, you learn all the laws. So I think going to law school and having that in my bag is going to be a good help. But I really want to be a forensic psychologist. So that's basically people who go on like crime scenes and stuff and use their expertise to say why the criminal did this and like where they are mentally. Because I feel like, honestly, I could talk about this a lot longer, but I'm not going to do that. Just the whole criminal justice system and everything and how unfair it is towards our Black community. So I just feel like with that career, I know I'll be able to I'll know everything with all the laws and all the systematic racism that is involved in those laws, and I'll be able to use my job and my career as a way to help uplift my community. So.
That's great. That's great. That's definitely what we need a lot more of our young Black people to get involved in, for sure. So I always tell young people all the time, if you're not in the room, then you don't really know what's going on. So the more direction, the more people we can get in the room, that's where the real change comes from. Protesting and all that stuff is great, and it does bring awareness, but we got to have more young people get involved in law and politics and all of these things, because without that, then we don't get the change that we need from the inside. So that's great. I look forward to seeing you conquer that goal over the next 4 years, and that'll be a cool thing to see. Mario, how about yourself, my man?
When I get to college, I want to major in marketing. You know, career-wise, I want to look forward to doing, you know, like advertising, social media marketing type things. Really, my main reason for that was just for the younger kids out in the world, Black kids out in the world. I really want to uplift them so they can see more of their self out in the world doing something positive. So that was really my main reason to want to get into marketing. You know, just like what Rico said, everything Rico said was facts. You know, like God didn't just bless us with, you know, feet. He also gave us a brain too, you know. So I just don't want to be seen as more of like a college athlete. I'm more than that, you know. So it's really about that. I feel like that's the bigger picture here.
Right, because like you say, as a coach, I always say that sports is a tool that you use to get to where you want to go. You know, if you can max that out and become a professional athlete, then that's great. But sports is a tool to get that education paid for, save yourself some money, and, you know, not start your life off as adults, you know, in any debt or anything like that. So, I mean, you know, I know Lincoln's culture is high academic, and you guys are all great students. So that's a good start for you guys, man. This has been pretty cool to hear all of your, you know, your insights on it. What I want to do is give you guys an opportunity to talk to, you know, your younger siblings, your younger classmates that you know, the juniors, sophomores, freshmen, you know, in your community. You know, give some words of inspiration to them about, you know, not giving up and not, you know, trusting, you know, themselves and their families and the coaches, and, you know, just give a chance to, you know, to say your words of encouragement to them, you know, and then we'll let Mr. Nelson ask you guys a couple questions on some things if he needs to, and, you know, we'll move on from there. So, Jaelyn, we'll start with you. Give your shout outs to everybody, and, you know, kind of, you know, the girls, the young ladies coming after you. You know, I know they look up to you at Lincoln. I know a lot of those girls are going to stay connected to you from the volleyball and track team and stuff like that. So any words of encouragement you can give them, and, you know, we'll go from there.
So what I want to say is you can do it. That is my main thing. You have to believe you can do it, because for a long time, I know I'm not the only person who felt like this. I had that dream of going to a PWI. I thought I was going to go play volleyball in Texas. Then I realized that wasn't the place that I needed to be. So then I understood that it's just like, you can do this. If you put your mind to something and you want something bad enough and you go after it and you work hard every day, even if you feel like at that point that you're not going to achieve whatever goal that is you want, you can do it, especially with this whole college recruiting situation. Also, I want to say to all of my female athletes who want to go play on at the next level and end up not doing that, like, it's okay, because at the end of the day, I'm a student athlete first, student before athlete. I know that I'm using my sports and athletics as a stepping stone to get to where I want to be, as you said earlier. So just understand that you can do it, whatever goals and dreams you have and whatever it is you want to do, you can do it if you put your mind to it. But also don't feel defeated if you don't commit, because at one point I really thought I was not going to commit, and that was heartbreaking to me. But at the same time, I knew that I'm going to school to further my education first before sports. So that's what I want to say. Also, wait, one more thing. Most of the people who are watching this, hopefully you guys have my social media or my phone number. Feel free to ask questions and talk. I feel like Mario and Rico are probably in the same boat. If y'all want to ask us questions, and hear about our recruitment story or hear about any advice that we want to tell you guys, like, just reach out. So, yeah.
That's right. You got to pass on that game to the younger generation. Rico, how about you, my man?
All I need to say is work hard. It's gonna feel hard for real. Especially with 2020, we had the code, we had to do an online classes, but it's gonna get hard. But you just gotta work through it because the end of it, I already know it's gonna be great. For real, just that's all. Hey, choose LU. Blue Tigers forever. Blue Tigers forever.
All right, Mario.
Yeah, no cap. Choose LU. But honestly, the biggest thing I have to say is honestly, just give your full 100%. I know that sounds like really cliche, but truly, if you give it your all, nothing can stop you at all. Seriously. If anybody has my contact or whatever, they can always contact me about anything. So just keep giving it your all. Don't ever stop for nothing.
Appreciate that. Mr. Nelson, you got any questions for these young scholar athletes? He doesn't realize he's on mute, I don't think. Nelson, you're on mute.
All right. First of all, what I would say to you athletes that you had a little difficult time in being recruited by HBCUs. If you looked at any of the interviews that Coach Glasgow has done over the past month with HBCU coaches, quite a few of the HBCUs are on the East Coast. And they have financial problems and they try to recruit locally because of their financial situation. And Coach Glasgow has urged them to contact him so that they can more receive athletes from this part of the country. That's a major issue there. Also, I'm really proud of you kids because Cascade Sports, when you go to our site, it says home of the student athlete. And you personify what a student athlete is. And I think that you verbalized I'm not just a football player or a volleyball player or a basketball player, track athlete. I'm a student first. And with Cascade Sports website, we have a special segment that most people don't go to the drop downs. It's called Bridging the Gap Between Sports and Education. And all three of you have eloquently talked about using sports as a springboard to get your education. And we appreciate you coming on the show. And in the future, you have our network. We've covered you during the season. We want to keep an update on what's going on with you. Once you hit campus, you'll enjoy it. Jaelyn, my freshman year was at Virginia State down in Petersburg. And I used to go up to Virginia Union. You're going to have a lovely time down there. And what I would say to all three of you, Cascade Sports and my personal self, we wishing you the best of luck. And what I want to do also, I want to give a heartfelt thanks to Coach Glasgow, because none of this would have been possible without his effort. He's working very hard to promote Lincoln Prep, among other student athletes, but his focus has been on Lincoln Prep. And I would think that you as a part of that student body really can appreciate that.
Exactly, man. Y'all know I love y'all. And if anything, over the next, years and years afterwards, man, that y'all got my number, my information. Reach out to me anytime, man. I appreciate y'all coming on the call. I look forward to watching you guys grow over the next year. I know Lincoln is down the highway, so I definitely will be catching some football games. Jaelyn, I'll hopefully, be able to connect with your parents and connect and make sure everything is going on. I mean, I'm going to be following Virginia Union on the social media stuff so I can keep up with you as well. And, you guys know I'm always here for you, man. Thank you for representing Lincoln Prep and your families in such a high fashion, man. I brag about all of you guys all the time. And, it's been a great experience for me just working with you guys in a short period of time that I've been able to do so. So I appreciate y'all, man. Love y'all. Thank you for coming on the show.
Love you too, Coach.